Hey, everybody. Welcome to a lovely Tuesday night here on Northwoods TCG. So thank you guys, everybody that's coming in. I'm going to give a few minutes for everybody to come in. Once again, it's greatly appreciated to have everybody come and hang out with me. Do apologize about last week. I had COVID and I just was not up to sitting down and trying to go through a live. So I'm feeling a lot better now, but it's moving a little bit slow. Once again, guys, there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of information that's out there right now. Surging Sparks, kind of crazy. Then on top of it, we've got Prismatic Evolutions flying around as well. All this stuff is news that we're going to be talking about today. First, I'm going to focus on Surging Sparks, where we're at currently on that market, what we will be looking for when it comes down to that, and what we're actually going to be concerned about, or what you may be wanting to look for if you're looking at your investments. So once again, I'm going to give a few minutes for everybody to kind of roll on in. I know it's a little bit early yet, and we just started up the stream. So as people roll in, we will get to it here a little bit. But yeah, starting things out, Surging Sparks as we're coming on in. Hey, how's it going? Blitzkrieg, how you doing today? Hopefully you're having a good afternoon here, or good evening, depending on where you're at. But yeah, one thing I want to talk about is Surging Sparks. So we're going to start off with Surging Sparks. That's kind of the one that we've been trying to get more product. We've been discussing more product. I can tell you right now that 6 distributors that I have either contacts in or have availability to purchase from are completely out of Surging Sparks. There is not an ETB. There is not a sleeve blister. There is not a booster box. There is nothing. The 6-pack bundles, everything is gone. Realistically, the ideal fact of it is that we are now completely out of product. So what is out there right now in the market is probably what's going to be out there. Whether it's still at MJ Holding and has not been delivered to stores yet, like GameStop and going to Walmart and Target, that's definitely something that could still occur. We might still see product kind of coming out. For example, last 2 weekends, the first weekend we got ETBs, the second weekend we got ETBs. I'm watching for this weekend. Hopefully maybe we'll see some more ETBs because the price of even the ETBs are going up. This is the first set out of Scarlet and Violet besides 151 in that an actual regular booster box set that ETBs are actually above like distributor pricing on release. So that's a huge factor when we're looking at these particular products, is the fact that these products are actually going above what we can get them at distributor pricing, which is huge. This is what we like kind of live for when it comes down to the business side of the Pokemon. From my experience in the past and where we're at now, is that sets that are fantastic like this really start padding your pockets a little bit to give you some more leeway and movement to maybe get through some of the rougher sets. So right now, if you're in business and if you are starting out in a business, or if you're into the streaming side of things and you're looking at the streaming side, hopefully you got enough Surging Sparks to give yourself a little bit of a padding. I had 4 cases of the 141 pack sleeve blisters. I sold them in less than a week. They were gone. All 144 were gone in like 4. I think I am listed for 5 days and they were sold out. So they moved extremely quickly. They had 10 cases of ETBs. They're gone. I mean, they were sold out, and I was selling them at $49.99, and they're gone. They're not sticking around. None of this stuff is sticking around, and it is all flying extremely fast. The one cautionary tale that I think I would really put out there with this particular product is we keep hearing people talk about short print and great investment, especially newer investment channels I see showing up right now are definitely pushing the narrative that this is a short print and that there's going to be great investment opportunity. And this could be one of those sets that also gets us in trouble. We can talk about this going back to like Vivid Voltage, Darkness Blaze, how those were originally a lot of people were saying these are short prints. They're not going to get reprinted. We're not going to see this value of this product go up, and these reprints aren't going to happen because they're moving on to the next best thing when they were all the way up into, Brilliant Stars, Astral Radiance, Lost Origin. We saw this all kind of culmination happen as well, where you think you're in the clear and you're not going to be getting this. It's going to be short printed and we're not going to have that particular value in here. And then all of a sudden they made to a massive reprint. And by then the hype and FOMO is done. We see collapsing of cards because now there's more stock. Booster boxes go from $180 to $200 all the way down to $105 to $115. We see this big retrace and this big just pullback on the market itself. So it's one of those cautionary tales that when you're only 2 weeks into the release of a set, I understand that the market is the market and we don't have it. We're short supplied currently when it comes down to Surging Sparks. Now, putting the name short print, yes, I think the first print run, but I've even talked to distributors and the print run wasn't incredibly small compared to like Temporal Forces and Twilight Masquerade. It was definitely printed less according to them, but it wasn't like a massively less amount of product. It's just the set itself had a lot more hype and FOMO behind it. And they said it was kind of interesting because they watch YouTube channels too. ADC, my friend that works there, was very, very clear that, when it came down to the sales, they had booster boxes, they had ETBs, they had sleeve blisters, all the way up until some YouTube channels started sitting there. And not even big YouTube channels, but some of the bigger ones started saying this word short print, that there was short stock, that there wasn't going to be enough for the demand, and it's all these things start coming up, and this Pikachu is going to be hot, and all these things started getting talked about, a week or 2 or 3 weeks before the release of that particular product, and all of a sudden the sales went through the roof and they cleaned them out. So once again, cause and effect sometimes does come into a play on this as well. Is the price of that Pikachu going to hold to where we could see the value of this continue going up, or are we going to see a repeat of the Chunkachu? It's another repeat, and overall, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how overall this value will hold on that particular product as well. Because if we go to the Pikachu EX, I was just checking it right before the live here just to see where we were currently. Because at one point we were almost $600, $650, almost $700 for this particular card. We were seeing sales on eBay, I think around $680 to $700. We were seeing it on TCG Player. I mean, the top sale they got here is $610. So we had one sell for $610 here. And now we're starting to see a retrace on it, which is expected. I mean, we went through the release. We're 2 weeks out from a release now. This weekend, I believe, will be 2 weeks out from the release of this particular product. So we're not even 2 weeks out yet. And we're already seeing this thing coming all the way down. Now, the next listings are down about $160, so $165. So we are seeing a retrace on this particular product, which is expected when you're seeing the release. The question is how far will that trace back? And with that happening, will that continue? Will that eventually affect the price of the booster boxes, the sleeve blisters, the 3-pack bundles, the 6-pack bundles, the ETBs? That's the real question. And once again, when the hype is starting to slow down and we're moving on to Prismatic Evolutions, and you're looking at this as an investment, is that going to make it so they do a reprint or a restock, whatever they want to call it at that point in time? Are they going to do that, and we're going to have a massive retrace because of the fact that the hype and FOMO has moved on? That is historically what we've seen in the Scarlet and Violet era, and that's always a concern that I have when it comes down to the products currently in the current market, is the fact that it seems like they have a lot of value, they have a lot of traction, and they got a lot of movement on those particular sets until the next set gets released. So another one I was going to check and I didn't get a chance to was going to be the Greninja EX. I'm kind of curious, because this is another one that I was kind of watching for a while there. And I was kind of curious to see how that was going to go after the next set release. Because once again, when the next set releases can always be a very big factor to its performance in general. And when we get this evolution set, are we going to see the evolution sets manage to hold like we've continued to see? So even if we go to the Greninja EX, for example, it's actually holding fairly well through the release of this. It's kind of flatlined a little bit here. It's about $260 currently, so it is holding some decent value. Twilight Masquerade is now becoming more available. I can purchase sleeve blisters of Twilight Masquerade, and I can purchase the same for Temporal Forces. So there is some product starting to come back on this as well. No booster boxes as of this moment in time, but there's definitely still enough product left of this Greninja EX. But the Pikachu is definitely going to be the interesting one to see how the value of that continues. But the Greninja did kind of the opposite of what the Pikachu is doing currently. Greninja has had a steady increase in growth, because I purchased my first Greninja when it first got out for $120. I think it was $115 in some sense plus shipping to get it. So I bought 2 of them at around that price range, and then they continue to carry on to where I sold it at about $325. But that's the difference, is that the Pikachu started high and now is going the other direction. So now we're going to see that cross period of how far it's going to fall before everything gets caught up, and before we maybe get a restock, a reprint of this particular product, before we see more available product. It's hard for me to believe that with the popularity and the chase of this particular set and how fast it sold out from distribution, that Pokemon isn't considering a reprint on this, or to catch up on the print levels of this, at least to bring it up to the margin of what they've been doing in the previous sets. So overall, as an investment, it's going to be a crapshoot. I mean, the problem is that in this kind of market right now, we have no idea what Pokemon's going to do. There's other sets that we said should be getting reprints, and they have not. Twilight Masquerade has not been getting a reprint that I have heard of as of this point. None of the first year sets have gotten any reprints, such as Paldea Evolved, another very popular set with that Magikarp chase. We're not seeing reprints of those. The only thing that we've really gotten reprints of at this point in time is 151, which is a very interesting that the specialty set is the only thing that's gotten any reprints. But it is, of course, one of the big dogs of the Scarlet and Violet era. So, of course, Pokemon's capitalizing on that. But now you got a potential for another big dog with this particular set and the next set. So Prismatic Evolutions is going to be the other question, because we've even seen multiple reprints of Evolving Skies through time, and once again, it just got chewed up by the market. Is this Surging Sparks going to fall into the realm of, Vivid Voltage? Are we going to see a reprint way too late for the hype and FOMO? People are going to be moving on to the new Umbreon chase, the Espeon, and all these other fantastic artworks that are coming in Prismatic Evolutions, and then we get a reprint of, Surging Sparks, and your whole stockpile of this that you probably may have potentially overpriced and bought at 140, 150, 160, thinking that the market's going to continue, is now down to 115, 105. And once it hits that level, how long will it take to recover from that point? If the hype and FOMO has moved on to the next set, and then you got Team Rocket following it. So my biggest suggestion is with Surging Sparks, even myself, what I am doing right now is 100% honest, is I've got my ear to the ground. I am listening for any rumors of a reprint, because the second I hear a rumor of a reprint, I will probably list all of my stock. Just because right now I bought it at the booster boxes that I did buy, we got them at about $103 a booster box. And when I pre-ordered well before the release date of it, and when we did that pre-order, I put it away. But as of right now, if I hear that there's a reprint rumor, I will probably just dump that stock, just because I am very concerned for Surging Sparks that when we get in the Prismatic Evolutions, that it's going to completely change the Surging Sparks feel, and how much people are going to want to buy into it, or how much people are going to jump into Prismatic Evolutions, and then Team Rocket following shortly behind that. We know that set's coming as well here in the near future. So those two sets are definitely coming, and we know that that's going to really change the landscape of the Scarlet and Violet era when we get to that point in time. So just some cautionary tales if you are looking at the investment side of Surging Sparks. If you didn't get it at that low price, even under like that $140 range on a booster box, I would definitely be considering and be very, very hesitant to jump in at this point in time, because I think that it will go up in price. Do I think that you'll be having some availability of that? Yeah, I don't think it's going to stop going up in price unless we all of a sudden very quickly hear a reprint. And that could happen. Not saying it has never happened before. It's just not very likely. It's Pokemon going back to the wave system, where they literally just released the first wave of Surging Sparks, and we will all of a sudden get notification that more is available here from distributors in a month or 6 weeks after release. That's happened before in Sword and Shield. So these are all things that we need to be watching for. If you are using this as an investment media, you really do have a really good investment currently at this point in time. I cannot argue that in any way, shape, or form. I would just be more concerned about the futuristic view of this particular set on the chances of reprint, and just keep your ear to the ground. And if you hear any kind of news of reprint, I would personally probably get out and take your chance of having to buy some back later, hopefully at a much lower price than what you get out at. That would be the ultimate goal, make a little money on top, and then come back and buy it when it drops down in price after the reprint. So that's my feelings right now on Surging Spark. I think it's a great set. It's a lot of fun. I've sold a ton of it very quickly, even on the streaming side, even on my sales side of things. It flew. And once again, it's one of these products I didn't have to lower the price to sell. I just left my price at where my margins are for it, and it disappeared on its own. I didn't have to really even push for sales. I didn't have to do any of that. And that is the really, really nice set for when you're trying to pad your pockets finally. Last time it was like this was Twilight Masquerade. When it first released, it went fairly quickly, but it wasn't as fast as Surging Spark. I mean, since I've had distributor access, I have not had the availability to sell that much product in 5 days. It was absolutely crazy, and I felt like I was at the post office just as much as I was at my house at that point in time, because it was just kind of crazy how quickly I would be at work and I'd have to come home and fill literally, 70 to 80 orders of booster or ETBs and sleeve blisters even the 6-pack bundles that I did get, they just went extremely fast. So, like I said, that's where I am on Surging Sparks. I just want to cover that. Overall, sales are fantastic. I do think that there's some room for some growth still in this particular set before we hear any news of reprint. As it's getting closer to that $200 mark, I don't know if I would be jumping in an investment at the idea of an investment at that point in time. I think that it'll start slowing here a little bit as we cross or get close to that $200 mark, or we may not cross that $200 mark. It was close. I don't know if anybody in the chat knows, did it cross the $200 mark? I mean, I'm typing in real quick, but on TCG Player, but I don't know if it, as of this morning, it hadn't. I hadn't seen any sales yet over $200, but I know it's been creeping right up there. Yeah, it's still sitting at about 195. So that's where it was, about 194 this morning. So 195 is right where it was this morning. So we're sitting there right now. And once again, on the chart, you can see for the last few days, it's been sitting right there. Once again, we talk about that every time. Even Evolving Skies, we talked about that. When you got to cross over that next $100 mark, sometimes they do stall. And I think that's what we're kind of seeing here. And I don't know how long that stall will hold. It's just going to be really interesting to see a few at $200. Like I said, once you cross that $200 mark, I think it'll do up really well. And we could see that potential growth. So I got a question from Garen. How many boxes sold today? So I can look on TCG Player and see what we have here. They changed this around just a little bit here. View more data. So I can do view more data. So today's the 19th. I would say probably at least 50. Yeah, at least 50 boxes today on TCG Player at this point in time. A lot of some are 2, 3s, or 8 of them here, 6s. So people are definitely buying them in quantities, 4s, 2s, I mean, multiple boxes. Okay, here's a sale. There was one sale today at 214. So there is an oddity. Most of them are right around 200 to 195. So a lot of them 191, 195, 195. Seems like it went up, and then today it's been lowering in price a little bit right now. So we're probably selling about 50 plus on TCG Player right now. Probably more than that. Probably closer to probably 75 to 80 of them based on the multiple quantity purchases. It seems like we're almost having a price war down a little bit on it now. It was at this morning. It looks like earlier there was some at like 205, a couple 200 hits. 114 here was kind of a big one that went out, and then it's like since this morning, the later ones have all been dropping down under 200 again. So we had one at 209, and that was about 50 booster boxes ago. And since then, we've kind of seen it go down a little bit. So some people are starting to fight for some sales to make sure that they are selling it. But once again, as those disappear and as those people are trying to fight for sales, sell out on them, then we could definitely see a resurgence where we'll cross the $200 mark. So, yeah, it'd be really interesting to see when it can sustain sales over $200. Today, we were definitely over at one point, but now we've corrected, and it's kind of just sitting there right around that $200 mark, just under, as of this point in time. And there's quite a few listings right now. I'm looking through the listings right now. I mean, here's 49 of them listed for $198.97, so $199 for the booster boxes. So there's a large clump there. Quite a few, box of 3 for 94 or 194. 190, 194, 198. So there's quite a few listings that are sitting there, kind of smoldering right now. And with shipping, it's sitting at about 199. And there's quite a few. There's probably 100 booster boxes now sitting at that price range. So we might be seeing a little bit before it gets chewed through, just depending on if it can contain or keep up with this momentum. It's definitely going to be a interesting side as well. The cases of the sleeve blister cases are now up over $700 a case, so they're going over for a ridiculous price as well. I mean, they're pretty much, you're cheaper to go and steal them out of your Walmart, your GameStop, and Target at this point in time than you are to buy a case of them online. But the interesting thing is then you go to TCG Player, and they're not selling that high. They're only still, I think the sleeve blisters are still selling for like $450 on here. So it's just kind of interesting that the case price is going so high while the actual individual sleeves aren't going that high. So interesting things. It's still, you got to remember, we're only what, total of 10 days into the set right now. We're not even at the 2-week mark. Friday will be the 2-week mark. So it's kind of, everything is just kind of flowing all over the place. We're seeing some weird numbers. We're seeing some weird positioning on some things. And that it'll take about a month before that really settles down and we can really see where things are going to fall. So I think we're just going to have to take some time and really analyze where we're at in these particular, you know, products and where we're going to be sitting here, and just let them kind of fill in at this point. So yeah, so here, a case for $750, and that's what I've been seeing on eBay as well, $750, even $900 for those particular sets. And the sleeve blisters themselves right now are selling for $496. So they're the same price as if you were to buy them at Walmart. But the funny thing is, the sleeve blisters are selling for $496, but the booster packs are selling for $585. So you could literally buy a sleeve blister, tear it open, and sell it for more money on TCG Player right now than a sleeve blister for just a loose pack. That's what the market's doing right now. So it's really going to be kind of interesting to see how overall that maintains and where it balances out. Like I said, we're 10 days in. I think we're at 10 days, right? Yeah, I think we're at 10 days right now. So 10, 11 days. We're not even in the 2-week marks. We have no idea how all this stuff is going to kind of lay out here. So be interesting to see. Interesting to watch. Yeah, it's just an interesting deal here that the sleeve blisters are actually going for less than the booster packs themselves. So yeah, funny. It's just funny how this stuff, especially on a hype and full mode set like this, how they all kind of lay out for a little bit, and then things will kind of balance out here. I'm not concerned. I think we'll see a good balancing point here in the near future. It's just going to take some time to really work that out. So, but yeah, like I said, that's where we're on Surging Sparks. I wanted to do this in 2 cases right now. I want to talk about Surging Sparks. That was the number 1. The number 2 one that I want to be talking to you guys about is Prismatic Evolutions. So I do know I put up on the Discord. I'm going to be upfront. I was told that the distributors had pre-orders on the stuff for Prismatic Evolutions. As of the first stuff that I ordered, I'm being told by distributor or by my rep that he should be able to get it all. He cannot promise in any way, shape, or form, but he said everything that was ordered on the first round, he is confident that he can get it. So as of right now, he has good confidence in that. So I'm not too concerned about that. But on the other hand of it, he literally told me that on this next order, I can only order 1 case of everything. 1 case. I can't order multiple cases. I have it down for multiple, but he told me that because of my size and, you know, the allocations of what everything's going right now with the craziness of allocations, that he cannot allow my size company to buy more than 1 case. So just so everybody knows, I saw the messages today of people wanting them. Gavin, I was trying to get the numbers for you. I did get the numbers per case so that we had that information for you guys so that you guys knew. But as of right now, I'm currently limited to 1 case. So I can't sit there right at this point in time and offer any pre-sales on this. Because literally the 1 case is what I was purchasing for myself to begin with for my business side of things. So literally my allocation is eating up everything that I'm going to have for that particular set. So I am apologizing for you for that. I know I put up the announcement. I got the information that was available, and then I was trying to find. I actually found out I was limited when Gavin called me or messaged me and asked what the case quantities were of these things, and I asked him what the case quantities were for this stuff, you know, for each one of these, and he said he gave me the case quantities. He said, "Here you go," so I can pull up the, you know, I wrote them down here just so everybody has the information on it. Is the case quantities on these particular products. So let me pull it open. I'll just give you guys case quantities, especially for the oddballs like the mystery box and things like that. I do know you guys want to know that. So we got this case quantities of surprise boxes. So if you're looking at the EV surprise boxes, you're looking at 6 of those per case. If you're looking for the 2-pack blisters, there's 24 of those per case. And the mini tin displays are 4 per case. So basically, I'm still going to take, I don't know how you want me to do this. So let me know in Discord. We can have a discussion on this. He told me to get orders for what I want. So if I want more, to let him know. And he will try and get that allocation. He's not going to charge me for it up front. He's not going to make us put any money down on it. And he won't hold me to purchasing it when they get it available. So if you are interested in it, we'll go over to Discord. We'll have that discussion a little bit more on that. If you are interested in products and you want to put it out there, and if you find it somewhere else or get the availability to get it somewhere else at a cheaper price, or, you know, the availability is there for you and you don't want to purchase it when it's time for me to actually pay for it to get it coming, then I can just contact you. Just make sure I'll hit you up in messages and we'll see if we can get, if you still want it. So let me know how much you want in case quantities. Now you know the case quantities. Let me know if you want case quantities, if you want a small amount. Just let me know on that factor, and I can work with the the distributor rep, because he's going to work with me on that, because we don't want to sit there and pin people's money down on these products and then find out that we won't get any allocation except for the case of each that I'm looking at. So just so you guys know, full transparency, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not making it sound like I'm trying to, screw anybody out of money or do anything. This was the best solution that he came up with. And this is, to me, I think it's a fair opportunity to not have to put money down. We don't have to put any money down. But if you know numbers that you're looking at and want, then we will put them in and see if we can get them. That's how we're going to have to go with this at this point in time. So that's just where we're at for the size. I do apologize. I'm just not big enough. I'm not a football Pete where I have the availability to push in and try and get that kind of stuff and get the quantities that I want. And that's another concern that I do know that the distributor rep said when it comes down to allocation as well, even for the ETBs and stuff. Places like those giant places like Football Pete and all them guys have put in like 10 times allocations what they normally get, which is already enormous allocations. So we are definitely fighting with the big dogs on this, especially the high volume buyers. And it's going to, like he said, he's confident he can get what we had ordered, because it was a good quantity for me, but in general, it wasn't like a gigantic quantity of cases that we put in between everybody on the channel here. So, and on the Discord. So there's definitely not necessarily the fact that we're going to be huge numbers for what other people ordered, because some people were ordering 1,000 cases of it, and I think we had a total of 100, and with my order it was like 200 ETBs total. So we're talking 20 cases. It's not like we're talking 2,000 cases that we were trying to get for allocation. So he said he should be able to pull that off and make sure we get the allocations that we have in for that, and we should be okay. But like I said, I'm just trying to keep everybody in for full transparency and just keep you guys up front. I'm not trying to screw anybody out of product or trying to hold anything. I just want everybody to know where the river's going before we actually run into anything, just so you guys are ahead of it. So that's where we are on Prismatic Evolutions. We do have pre-orders up. If you are interested in it, we haven't seen the booster bundles either come up. So I just saw Richard's comment here. Does everything that you list on the first pre-order come in on the first release? I know that the items like the booster bundles released later. Richard, yes. So basically, right now, the distributors are even taking the pre-orders based on the release levels of each one of these. There are 3 releases for Prismatic Evolutions. The first one is going to be the ETBs, the binders, the sticker collections, and there was one other one. Was there 3? So those are the first products that are coming out. Now we are doing the pre-orders for the next 3, which are the mini tins, the 2-pack blisters, and the EV surprise box. So that's the next wave, and then the final wave, the blisters, are the last wave to come out. So we will be getting pre-orders for that coming up as well. So yes, we are pre-ordering based on they're giving us the pre-orders based on the release wave to kind of, I think, on their end, it's keeping things clean, and then also makes it so that we know kind of the way that these releases are going to be moving forward. So once again, it's a really interesting system. If you are looking for some certainty, I don't know if Eli at Pokemart USA still has some availability into his distribution program either. I did post up on my Discord the games mothership as well. I use them in the past, so just so everybody's know, for full transparency, that's Pokenav's business too. So Pokenav, of course, on the YouTube. Sometimes some people like them. I never had an issue with Pokenav's knowledge. I think he had some really good things in his business layout, but that is his business as well. So it is a distribution program, $50 a month. You get full access to Japanese Pokemon. You get Lorcana, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh! He's got Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon. Literally all the different sets are up there. One Piece as well. All on that site for $50 a month, and then you get full access to the distribution pre-orders as well. So if you are looking at getting some allocation and you really want to jump in on it, he's got pre-orders going on right now as well. So just so you guys are aware, and if you guys want to join the membership, it's $50 a month and it gives you full access to everything. So if you're interested in other TCGs as well, definitely that opportunity is there on his site as well. So I don't know if Eli has different products. I have never been inside of his because his is a little steeper in price because Pokénav when I first joined was 25, and I know now he's 50 for his. So, but you know, full access to every single product, including Japanese products, because he's got what is it? Tokyo Route is what he's got on Pokénavs as well. So yeah, I still have my membership through him as well. So it's another place where we could try and get allocation. But yes, he's got a full layout on that as well. So just so you guys know, that's in the Discord too, the link for him. If you do, I'm not getting a kickback. I'm just, you know, if you want to put in my name for reference on that too, it would be greatly appreciated just to show who's sending him the new customers as well. If you guys do want to join his direct buy, and for me, it's been really good overall. He's been a little bit slower on the coming in. So typically, I get my product. My shipping sucks, so I usually get it on Monday after the release. So Friday will be release day. The distributor tries to time it, so I get it on Friday because I'm not supposed to have it early because I don't have an LGS. So I'm only supposed to get it on the day of release, but they always seem to miss, and I get it the Monday after, typically. Monday, worst case I've ever had is Tuesday. Pokénav sometimes won't come in until the end of the following week. So if you're not in it for like a streaming or a business or you need that quick turnaround, definitely a perfect opportunity for that as well. So definitely check that link out if you are still trying to pull allocations. He's doing allocations right now, and I'm sure he'll have the booster bundles coming up as well. He's doing the same release schedule on that as also. So just so you guys know, once again, I put that up there as well, just so people that are looking for allocations and looking for something similar to what Pokemon USA, because the last time I looked at his, all of the what I would call the affordable ranges for most individuals were full, and you had to pay like the $150 access for his. Pokénav's is, or the Games Mothership Pokénav system is $50, and it's access to everything. So pre-releases and everything on that. So all right. So anyways, now that we're through all that, that's what we have in Surging Sparks, just so everybody has an update on that, so we know where we're at. I'm just trying to think. I'm going through all my head all the stuff that I want to discuss. That was it. Surging Sparks, we know where we're at on that now. Overall, the market itself is looking fairly good. I'm seeing some really good things still currently. It's staying pretty steady. We're running out of card shows now at this point in time. There are no more card shows this year in my area, so we're pretty much out of the card show area now at this point. So now we're just kind of running out the end of the year using the Black Friday tags and things like that. If you sell on TikTok, of course, they're doing Black Friday sales right now, and it's really, really promoting sales as well. 151 still showing up. I just picked up some Alakazam boxes as well, so definitely continue to watch for those 151 products. They are showing up in stores. So there's still that opportunity to grab that product too if you're trying to put it away. Granted, they're not going to be in case, they're going to be open product, but once again, if you're looking for some 151 product to continue to kind of build a little nest egg or stash of that particular product, it's fantastic. For example, Alakazam EX boxes right now, if you can grab those, I just grabbed a total of 12 of them this weekend from 3 different Walmarts, and right now they're selling on TikTok for $46 a piece. And you're picking them up for, I believe it was $25 a piece. So once again, really, really good prices there. I'm going to look on what they are on TCG Player, because to be 100% honest, I haven't been selling anything on TCG Player anymore, just because of the fact that they are so expensive when it comes down to the... So TikTok is 6%. By me having a shop on TikTok, they charge me 6% for the fees. If I sell it live, they only charge me 3%. So, which is really nice, because if I'm doing a live and people purchase through my live, they charge me less. And if they use their shop and people click the link in the shop, they charge me a little bit higher referral fee, which is 6%. But still, paying 6% to sell something versus 13% that we're paying on TCG Player, plus the extra transaction fee, depending on how much it is, it can be add another 0.5% to a full percent to your order. That's definitely another thing that I really have been avoiding TCG Player for that fact, and it's just something that I've been pushing and explaining that to people. The TikTok, to me, has done a really, really great job at making a seller's platform. Now, I see Instagram's doing a similar setup. I haven't looked into Instagram much. I was going to sit down and look at it. I know that they've been doing it for a little bit, so I've been considering looking there, too, to kind of just broaden, but I don't know what their seller's fees or anything like that are on that site as well. So, like I said, I just want to get through that and be fully transparent with you guys, just so you know where we are at this point, where we're at on Prismatic Evolutions. If you are interested in it, I'm not taking any down payments. I'm not taking any payments on any of this stuff. You just let me know how many you want, boxes, or if you want one case, tell me one case. If you want, two of the mini tins, Displays, just tell me 2 mini split tin displays, and I'll get it all put together, and I will give it to my distributor rep. And then when he gets it, if he gets the allocation and can pull it off and get it to me, then what he's going to do is he is literally going to just charge me then. And if you've already found it and you don't want to purchase it at that point in time, just tell me no. I'll tell him no, and he'll just knock it off the order and give it to the next person. Because he said it's probably going to be fairly easy just to pass it on down the line. It's not one of those products that's going to sit in a warehouse for very long if they have it. So that's where we are on that, just so everybody's aware. So if you are interested, message me on Instagram or Discord, whichever one works best for you. I've been trying to watch both of them, but I did get all those messages today, and I did want to clarify that here on the live, just so everybody hears, because I've been pushing that out here to everybody, so that way everybody knows what's happening. All right, what do you say we go back to the chat and find out who's in here all together this evening? So we got Blitzkrieg, as I said at the beginning. Welcome in, and thanks for joining. Royalty, thank you so much for dropping in as well. We got Eric on 50095, thank you so much. Garen, welcome on in. iFOMO, as always, the #1 mod in my chat. Thank you so much for being in here as well. Going down the list here. What do we got? We got Garen. Oh, there we go. We got Grim the Nerd. Welcome on in, my friend. How you doing? We got Richard. Ben Young, welcome in as well. And Sooner, welcome on in. Thank you so much for joining in this evening. Glad to have everybody in here. Like I said, I had COVID last week, so I was not up to par. And I got these headaches from it still, and I'm pushing through. But we got to keep moving. Get things going and keep things going here for you guys, so you're in the loop, especially with everything that's happening right now between Surging Spark and Prismatic Evolutions. I got to be here. We got to be in front of it and be able to talk to you guys about this stuff. So, Blitzkrieg, yeah, caught the restock today. Bought 3 blisters, 2 Ursaluna boxes. No ETBs though. Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, it's hit or miss. It definitely is hit or miss when it comes down to it. I know that the 3-pack blisters are still available. So if I go to Walmart right now, 3-pack blisters are available. I just bought the rest of these. Not even going to lie. They had 25 of these left. I bought the last 25 of them from Walmart because I know on my stream I'll be able to sell them. Once again, if I know I can sell them, I have no problem paying the Walmart price. It's tighter margins compared to just buying them as a sleeve. When you sell 4 boxes of sleeve blisters in 5 days, for me, that's a huge quantity. Usually 4 cases. I bought extra because usually I do 3, and I usually buy 4 cases of ETBs because some people enjoy getting the promo out of ETB, ripping the ETBs. They're kind of fun. People enjoy those when it comes down to the streaming side, and plus sometimes the packs go better than the actual ETBs, so I can break them out and then I get the promos as a bonus to make up the difference on them. But yeah, they sold out everything. I sold everything out by Sunday. I packed up my last stuff. So total of a week. The last ETBs went out on Sunday. The 4-pack blisters were gone on Friday night. So a week. I got them in on Monday, and they were gone by Friday night. So they flew out of here. So I did a stream on Thursday night, like I always do on TikTok. And Thursday night I sold a case, and then Friday night I sold a case, and 2 cases sold just out the door. Just people buying them off the shop. So they flew out of here, so I'm not too concerned about buying more for Walmart. Paying the Walmart price, I can bump the prices and get up to where most people are selling them on streams, and I'm still going to be able to sell them probably fairly easily. So, yeah, Surging Sparks, absolutely nuts right now. Congratulations on finding some, because I know it's getting pretty scarce in a lot of the locations. Our GameStops are sold out. Our bigger towns are all sold out. My LCS is completely sold out of Surging Spark, even down to the booster boxes right now. Let's see. Market was on the moon. It is. It's still, for certain sets, it definitely is still on the moon for sure. Blitzkrieg, everybody's selling their extra kidney for down payment when Rocket set hits the market. Yes, they will. They will probably be selling their children. We will be renting out children at that point in time. I figured I'll just sell my children to a local farmer and then let them work out, and then they'll send me the income. That way I can go buy some Team Rocket when we're going. that set's going to be absolutely insane. If Prismatic is this way, imagine when all these older millennials jump in for Team Rocket for a taste of nostalgia. I mean, Prismatic Evolution has got a lot of us in it too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of us are in this set too. We were committed to EV Heroes 2.0 from the second we heard EV Heroes 2.0 was coming, but in general, we are definitely going to be in for Team Rocket. I'm still saving quite a bit of funds for Team Rocket because I think it's going to be really fun. Let's see here. Pokemon Company is definitely busy. Yeah, their printers are definitely going burr right now, and they have no problem. They should have no problem being concerned about making them printers go burr, because right now the market would chew it up. Between Prismatic Evolutions and Surging Sparks, they could run the printers just nonstop for those two sets, and they would have no problem selling at it at this point in time. I think when Prismatic Evolutions come out, Surging Sparks is going to definitely slow down quite a bit. So in January, but that's a long time. I mean, realistically, if we could get more product between now and then, the market would just eat it up. That Pikachu chase is fun. People like Pikachus. Pikachus are a very valuable card. Personally, I don't like the artwork, and we were talking about this actually. Personally, I kind of like the gold Pikachu a little bit more, and the price is over $100 on that as well. So that's probably one of the most expensive gold cards that we've had in Scarlet and Violet at this point in time as well. Because I would say the Mew, but the Mew was, very short-lived as well. I think that one, when it first released, was around 95. But that Pikachu EX gold card right now, what is it right now? I mean, yesterday it was at 125. So when I looked yesterday afternoon, it was at 125. Or Sunday. Sunday it was at 125. My days are already flying by. So Sunday it was at 125. And if I go now, what's that gold card sitting at now? So it's at 107. So we're at $107 currently. So it's going down just a little bit, which is to be expected. Once again, we're getting more stock, and it's definitely going to be a factor when it comes down to that as well. So $99 is the next listed. So we're going to be at $100 on that one. A lot of them at $99 to $102. So once again, people are trying to sell them out rather and take the money while they can before the market crashes and corrects. Let's see. Team Rocket said is going to go crazy, right? Selling 3-month pre-release. Yeah, exactly. I regret not getting into Surging Sparks Pokemon Center ETBs. I did get my 4 on that, just like I did with the Evolutions one. We've got the 4 coming to that, so hopefully they don't cut that down to 2. But I ordered 4 before they went to the 2 minimum. So yeah, it's going to be kind of interesting to see if I do get the 4. I'm hoping I do for Prismatic Evolutions. I got the 4 for Surging Sparks, so I'm happy I have that as well. Those ETBs, yes, going absolutely crazy right now as well. So yeah, definitely everything in Surging Sparks right now is just going nuts. And there's going to be a lot of volatility to this as well too. So just keep that in mind as you're getting into things. I mean, I want to put there, I'm no psychic by any means. I'm not the type of person that likes to sit there and tell people to go buy things and get in front of things and do things, because, the problem is that you do that kind of stuff and something changes quickly and people don't know how to get out of it in a quick enough fashion. So a lot of times individuals see it happen and they retrace and move and adjust. When it comes down to an audience on YouTube, no offense to anybody who's watching this live, I'm always concerned about the reaction time of a smaller individual who's putting a couple $100 in and hoping that product will double so that they can move up. And they don't understand or don't have the knowledge at this point in time to know when to get out before it goes the wrong direction. And that's definitely something that I'm always cautious about. I'm not a psychic. I never will be a psychic. If I was, I would not probably be on YouTube. I'd probably be in a Cayman Island relaxing in the sun right now rather than dealing with cold, rainy weather in November. So that would just be me. But I try to just keep things going. I try and keep things real with you guys. Try and give you the information that's going to best help you and let you guys make the decision on whether or not it's a good price point at this point to jump in. And if you want to take the risks yourself, if you want to make the assessment and take the risk, then that's, I completely understand that. And that's how you gain. It's an investment because there's risk. If it was not an investment and there was no risk, it would just be making money. And that's not how it works. That's not how any market works realistically when you're talking about holding product long term and hoping for the best. So right now you're investing, you're hoping that the product will go up. You do your best assessments. You need to make your own decisions on when to buy in, and you need to make your own decisions on when to buy out. I can give you the lowest prices that there are right now, and I can try and tell you when the pricing I feel is at a low point. But once again, I'm not a psychic, and I can't for sure tell you those with 100% certainty. So, yeah, Pokemon Center ETBs right now, $104 currently. $105 currently on Pokemon Center. And those have not shown they were a lot higher pre-release, so we've dropped down, and then it kind of came back up again. So we were looks like we were sub 100 for about a few days, and then it went back up. So looking though, standing up, they're standing at about about 109. 109 is going to be the next one. There is one here it's going to be 190, 198. So, or $98. There's going to be one under $100 or two of them under $100, and then it's going to go right over 100. So, yep, definitely a good buy. You jumping in on those, that's definitely a great buy when you can get in on those particular products. Let's see. FOMO reprints shouldn't happen till next year, right? Why would they print product to have it taxed at the end of the year? So that's up to Pokemon. We have seen them do that and deal, once again, product is non-taxable, so they reprint stuff because it's non-taxable as an inventory, because it's actually considered, because inventory has no value until it's sold. It's just a potential gain. So they could be printing right now for reprints currently, and we just don't know it. Like for business, we'll stock up our inventory pretty heavy at the end of the year. Like right now, I'm buying furnaces, I'm buying ductwork, I'm buying all this stuff. I'm replenishing all of my stocks on the shelf, because overall, if I put that as inventory on my taxes, it's a deduction, or it's a loss of income, because inventory is not considered income at that point in time. So you can ride through by buying a new vehicle, by buying that kind of stuff intentionally to not, it's just the way the tax system works. I mean, they don't consider inventory as a taxable item unless you're trying to do like amortization of it and things like that. If you're trying to amortize your inventory, then yes, then you are in a completely different ballgame. But a lot of times you're just taking it as income and putting it as inventory, and then we carry the inventory into the next year. And that's how we continue to roll and kind of reduce that tax burden for sure. So that's exactly what they might be doing, is printing up a lot of stock. And that may be what they did with Surging Sparks. To be 100% honest, they could have printed more Surging Sparks, but because they've made a lot of money this year because of all the markets they've opened up, they could definitely just be sitting on it and waiting until after the first of the year to release it. So we might see a release right before Prismatic Evolutions release of Surging Sparks. It's hard to say. You just don't know what they're doing. And it really depends on their corporate structure and how they're all set up. So once again, it's speculating. I'm not saying that that's what they're doing. I just know from a business aspect, inventory is great to have at the end of the year, because it comes out of your profits and goes into an inventory, into a actual tangible item. And then because you're holding a tangible item, it's not in the same tax category. And someone with a tax degree could probably explain that to you a lot better than I can. I just know, as a small business, we sit there and buy a lot of equipment and restock all of our shelves before the end of the year, because we want that money in inventory. We don't want it in the account as just free money. Going into it, Blitzkrieg on eBay, a few for $200 on sales. Yep. We already went through Garen with the amount sold. Eric, rather just buy the card at that price. Exactly. I agree. I mean, by the time you pull that, so I'm going to tell you right now, we opened 244 sleeve blisters, and we pulled the Volatility, and we pulled the Alolan Exeggutor. So we did not pull the Pikachu out of the two cases I opened. It was one SAR per case. So, and that's, and there's a few SARs too. So it's not guaranteed that it's going to be in any of the cases. We did not pull the Latias. We did not pull the Pikachu. Out of the two cases we opened, we just pulled the Alolan Exeggutor and the Milotic were the two that we pulled out of the two cases I opened. The other two cases, I have no idea, because they were sold on TikTok and they just went away sealed. So I have no idea what was pulled out of those ones. But yeah, the pull rate, it seems like the pull rate's really funny on that particular card, because I've seen people pull two of them back to back. And then on the other hand, I've seen people go cases without hitting even hitting that EX. So it's a really hit and miss card when it comes down to the actual pullability of that Pikachu EX. So yes, I agree. If you're going to pay $200 for in booster box, you might as well just wait. By the way, it's dropping right now. If you wait a couple more days, a week or so, you're literally going to have that Pikachu probably at the case of or at the price of two booster boxes right now. And the chances of you pulling that in 2 booster boxes is pretty slim to none. So, yeah, I agree. Just buy the booster, or buy the card. If you want the card, if you're chasing the card, just buy the card. Grim the Nerd, good evening, my fine friend. Hopefully you're having a good week thus far and had a great weekend. Ben Young, good to see you doing well, mate. I've been watching you a long time and hope you're well, mate. I am. Like I said, I had COVID, so I'm a little bit on the mend right now. That kind of, whenever I get COVID, I've had it 3 times now, and I go into what I call honey badger mode. So I just sleep for 3 days. I just sleep through COVID. That's apparently my immune system's reaction. But it just drains you. That's the problem. It drains all the energy out of me, and so then I just don't have any willpower to want to do anything. I just want to sleep. So then a few days afterwards, like I said, it takes about a week, and then I'm finally getting up to. I got my breath back and everything like that. I was a little bit short-winded. Like now, if I was talking, I'm getting a little bit winded talking, but it's not too bad at this point. But such is life now. We gotta deal with flu and COVID, but it is what it is. We move along. Richard is okay. So I already answered that. I FOMO exactly. Why bother reprinting this year? Open the floodgates before tax season. Yeah. Richard has got on here. I know a few people who haven't been into Pokemon for years who are already planning on coming back for the Rocket set. This is going to be a bonkers next year. I agree. I know a lot of people, too, that were back for a little bit there for 151, and they've kind of completely backed out again. And now they heard Team Rocket's coming back, so now they're coming back again for Team Rocket. So I find it very interesting that right now Pokemon seems to be having this ability to create these little pocketed, I want to say pocketed sets. So, for example, 151 is a pocketed set, I would say. More people came in just for that set, just for 151. They didn't move into other Scarlet and Violet sets. They didn't go into any of the Pokemon sets. They specifically came for 151, and they left with 151. Or they're still chasing 151. They're buying 151, which is why 151 is continuing to just sell ridiculously quick whenever you find the product and put it up for sale. The same thing is said for when you go into Rocket. I think the Team Rocket set is going to almost have the same effect. We're going to have people that I know of, even myself, that are specifically coming in for Team Rocket. They're only here for Team Rocket. They want Team Rocket, and they have no intention of doing anything but Team Rocket. So it's really interesting, the sets that Pokemon is creating right now and making these sets where they have that ability to make these very pocketed, deep pocketed sets right now in the Pokemon TCG. Now, Surging Sparks has it because of the Pikachu. You got Pikachu fans chasing Pikachu, and that's a big factor, but they will spread. I mean, I don't think the Pikachu fans are necessarily stuck on Surging Sparks. They're stuck on it because the SAR Pikachu, but if you were to put an SAR Pikachu in another set, they would move on to that set as well. I don't think that they would pocket as hard on Surging Sparks. There's not a lot of people who are just here for only Surging Sparks. They're here in the hobby, and now they're chasing a chase in a set, while 151 and Team Rocket are going to create pocketed sets where only people are here for those sets. So that's a really interesting thing that I do agree. I've been seeing that quite a bit, and it's really, really interesting that that Pokemon seems to be doing that this last Scarlet and Violet era. So, yeah, really good stuff there when you're looking at investment, and really good stuff there when you're looking at the potential of these sets, is when you see those deep-pocketed sets are definitely going to have that potential value as well. One thing I was going to go on with that, too, and now I lost my train of thought. So, yeah, I'll remember here in just a second. I'll go back on my train of thought. Hey, Poke Chasing, how you doing, my friend? Joseph, welcome on in as well. Glad to have you. Blitzkrieg, I learned my lesson with Evolving Skies. I didn't know about keeping, and through so many cases, should have bought into singles. Now I have a bunch of sealed cases of different sets. Yeah, and I think a lot of people on the investment side kind of went two ways on that after Evolving Skies. Evolving Skies was kind of an interesting time period because of what occurred with Evolving Skies. And I think it threw up a lot of red flags and concern for the market at that point in time. So for anybody that wasn't here in at the end of 2021 there when that occurred, was that 2021? No, 2020. At the end of 2020, when that occurred, no, it was 2021. So 2021. I'm trying to get my time. Oh my god, things start to blend together. Because Sword and Shield was 2021, so Vivid Voltage was December of 2020, and then we had so it's 2021. So December of 2021, we went from a market where you couldn't get product, you couldn't find product, you were literally having fist fights at Target and people trying to shoot each other for Pokemon products because of how popular and how hard it was to find. We had, Shining Fates ETBs selling off the gate for $140 in ETB. You had Vivid Voltage running $230, $240 for a booster box. Chunkachu running at $600 to $700 for that Rainbow Pikachu. You had all these Charizards going up over $700, $800. The, Champion's Path, the Rainbow and the regular Charizard, both of them were pushing almost $900, $1,000 at one point in time, and all that craziness to all of a sudden Chilling Reign came. Same thing. Product was gone really quickly. The first round of Evolving Skies came, and it disappeared really quick and was gone. The market just chewed it up because it was doing that. That's the way it was going. And then all of a sudden you got that print to order for Battle Styles right then. And everybody was buried in Battle Styles because everybody that had ordered Battle Styles trying to get something and over-ordered got everything they ordered, and they were forced to take it from the distributor at that point in time. And the same thing then occurred with Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies right as Fusion Strike was coming out. So it was like all this product was on the table in this huge dousing at the end of 2021, which really put some uncertainty in the market. And I know you could see a lot of investment channels and a lot of people that were cynical about Pokemon investing, especially, were pointing out, see, this is what happens. You flood the market and you'll kill the pricing. You won't get any value. See, Pokemon's worthless now because all these booster boxes are dropping sub 100, sub 80. You were buying Evolving Skies at $99 a booster box in December of 2021. You were buying Chilling Reign at $78 a booster box, and you were buying Battle Styles at that point in time at $72 a booster box, and all these pricings just dumped. But once again, it shows you the resiliency of this market back then, especially that it then slowly disappeared again. It all got chewed up. Even Evolving Skies, I bought it at $99. I bought 10 cases at $99 a booster box at that point in time. With it shipped, it was $104 total. And we had seen all of that product get just pulled right back into the market, and the market absorbed that. And we've seen every one of those sets since that point in time go up by very, very good numbers. I mean, you look at Battle Styles even comparatively to $72. I know a lot of people are going to say Battle Styles still sucks. And I do agree compared to the other sets around it. Battle Styles still sucks. I mean, we can't really dispute that. But when you talk about buying it at $72 back in 2021, and now today it's still, I think, $110, that's still a really good investment overall when you're looking at a 3-year investment, right? In 3 years, you still have almost a 40% increase in price. That is a huge increase overall for that. So yeah, I mean, it's just interesting how the markets will change and fluctuate and move and continually grow and fluctuate. So yeah, I mean, $130. You're at $130 right now. So you've almost doubled the price of something in 3 years. So just like that, I mean, if you can get those low prices on you're investing in the Pokemon, and get those low prices and get into them when you have these surges in this market get flooded in with product, those are actually the good times to jump in on particular items such as that. And that is why we are looking, why we talk about that Evolving Skies. We had some skeptical people out there that were saying that all those sets were going to drown and they weren't going to move forward. Obviously, every one of those sets in that block, even the Battle Styles now, is the lagger, and it's still at $131. That's almost 100% profit, or 100% up on your investment, 92% roughly right now. That's a huge move forward. That's a gigantic gain in 3 years. You can't do that in any real market in there. Maybe Bitcoin, if you were to get into Bitcoin, possibly could do that. Some cryptos could do that. But in general, most of the investments firms, such as stock market and stuff, do not do that. Now, are we going to see that continue in the Scarlet and Violet? Been a little slow. I see some of these sets now being able to do that. We might be able to capitalize on that, and we might see these investment growths finally coming up on like these sets. Twilight Masquerade, Temporal Forces, Temporal Forces is still one of those ones iffy. I think the only thing holding back Temporal Forces from being a really good investment, even at this point in time, is the Paradox Pokemon. The Paradox Pokemon just don't hit. I'm going to be 100% honest. They don't hit for me. I have really very little interest in it. Like I've said, Paradox Rift to me is the better one of those two compared to Temporal Forces or Paradox Rift. Some people say Temporal Forces. I think Paradox Rift because the Pokemon are more realistic in Paradox Rift. I mean, the Gallade makes sense. The, Salamence makes sense. That those kind of evolutions and Ancient make sense to me. Temporal Forces is just goofy because you're taking legendary Pokemon and you're backdating them, and it's like, how do you have ancient Pokemon of those? Like I've said before, how do you have ancient Pokemon of those three and they don't even match with Pokemon lore? And that's just the funny thing. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting how that's all going to continue to move forward. I think these later sets, definitely from Twilight Masquerade on, are going to do fairly well futuristically. They have good chases. They have good availability to have potential in them. And people do enjoy them in general, which is a big factor when it comes down to those. Pokemon Chasing, this is... Oh, Simpkins. Oh, welcome in. Glad to have you in the YouTube side. Welcome to the dark side of the Force. Pokemon Chasing, that's why I'm now going to have a box of each. It's a smart idea. I've been saying that for a long time on here, that if you can, even if you save one booster box, I mean, if you want one booster box and you save it forward, you're doing great. Me, it's 2 cases. I do 2 cases of everything, of booster boxes, and I put them away. That's just what I do. But on Surging Sparks, if I get wind of a reprint of it coming, I'm going to dump those booster boxes and just rebuy them if I want them. But in general, I think that's a really smart position, whether it's 1 ETB or 1 booster box or a case of booster boxes. Definitely not a bad idea. That way you cover all of your bases. I think all of them will do well. Some of them will move very slowly, and some of them will catch fire and really, really grow. And I think in general, it's just like any kind of portfolio that you build for like an investment portfolio. You want to have diversity, and the reason that you want diversity is that you want to counteract some of these slower performers with high performers. And when you do that, in general, you end up with a well-balanced and equally growing portfolio. Even this year, I looked at my Pokemon portfolio for my investment. And once again, I'm on track to be doing another 25 to 30% on my investments. So every year so far in the last 3 years, since the slowdown of the Pokemon hobby compared to where we were in 2020 and 2021, I have continued to just maintain about a 25 to 30% gain on my investment portfolio, which is exactly something I love to see. That's beating most investments. That's beating inflation. That's beating everything out there. And overall, it's a very good opportunity to see some growth and continued moving forward. And that's what we want. That's exactly what I try to see. And that's exactly what I'm excited to continue to see when I'm looking at those particular items. Let's see. Just going through the list here, seeing if I missed anything, because I know I did Richard. Evolving Skies, I did that one. iFOMO. And then we're coming down to Blitzkrieg. Yeah, Battle Styles. Although I bought 2 cases of Shrouded Fable ETBs for $265 each. Had to open 1 of each case to check to see if it was legit. Yeah. You always got to watch that. I thought I saw something else on Shrouded Fable. And why did it disappear? I thought there was another comment on Shrouded Fable, and I'm not seeing it. Oh, there you go. Blitzkrieg. Walmart trying to sell Shrouded Fable ETBs for $54. LOL. Yeah, that's rough. I know they are doing the same thing here. They're $55 here straight up. There's not like 20. It's not like 55 or $54.98. It's $55 straight up. And they are just sitting there collecting dust. And actually, Twilight Masquerade ones are sitting there as well. So I was kind of looking at Twilight Masquerade to see if there was some play I could make on those boxes. Because they've actually got them clearance down to $48. And I was still looking at them, and it's like, you still can't. I looked at that several different ways, and I don't know if someone could figure out a way, if they could let me know. If you could figure out a way to flip them things, let me know, because I'm going to be 100% honest. I haven't looked at the individual booster box. I haven't gone to the point where I've broke it down, really, really far to try and see what I can do with one of them, because, but the problem is I can get Twilight Masquerade ETBs even right now for $41, $42 on TCG Player. So, it's really hard to want to go and do that. Because even a booster pack is still $4.35 a booster pack. Sleeve blisters are 10 cents more, so you're not getting much on the sleeve blisters. Yeah, there's just not much you can do about that. Blitzkrieg, make sure you check your GameStop. Oh yeah, I was gonna bring that up. That was the train of thought I was gonna have earlier. Check your GameStops because they're $25 in ETB right now. So if you're looking for Obsidian Flame, I think it's what the heck is it? I know it's Obsidian Flame base set. What's the other one that's in there? Paradox Rift and Paldea Vault. So it's those four. Those four are right now $25 at your GameStop. And that's the Black Friday sale, Black Friday deals they're currently running on that. So, yeah, and I think that Gavin put up in the deals on our Discord too, that Target is doing, I believe, a $20 ETB for like Brilliant Stars, Lost Origins, Astral Radiance, and Silver Tempest as well. So there are some fantastic Black Friday deals coming coming up here in the near future. So definitely be watching that and getting in front of that as well if you are looking for those things. So I am going here real quick because I'm going to look on the Discord, but if you want to see this stuff, it is in the Discord. I know that they've been posting things up and making sure that they get these deals out there, which is great. So yeah, Black Friday deal here at Target, $19.99. It's going to be, we got Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, Astral Radiance, and Brilliant Stars, all of which are going to be $19.99 right now at Target, coming up on Black Friday. Pokemon Chase. Once I can expand on the house, I might buy cases. It could be a better investment, but I'm stuck in a 4-year legal battle right now. Ugh. Yeah, that might make it difficult, but you don't have to buy cases. I mean, it just depends on how much you're trying to move and how much volume you have. I think that's a big misconception because right now I'm seeing a lot of the investment, even new investment channels. I'm always watching the investment channels to see what comes out and what they're discussing, what they're finding, what they're talking about. And I see a lot of these investment channels like to just pop up and they like to always say, buy a case of this, buy a case of that, buy a case of this. You don't need to buy cases to start investing in the Pokemon TCG. If you want to just start investing, booster boxes. I see people that invest in just packs. You know, for example, Evolving Skies packs. Go find products right now at Walmart that have Evolving Skies in them and pull the Evolving Skies packs and invest in them. Hold them. Every year they make a bounce. We're coming up into the Christmas time where we may now again see Evolving Skies make some moves, especially during tax season. Tax season is definitely a season that I always watch like Evolving Skies, because if you're looking at investment, short term and long term, if you get enough packs, you can cut half of them, hopefully pay your expenses, and then be able to roll that forward into another product that you can continue to hold some back and continue to move forward. And there's a way to continue to do that. You don't need to sit there and buy cases of something in order to be successful. That's not necessary. I see so many channels, that's all they talk about is, you need to invest in a case of this. You need to invest in a case of that. You need to get a case of booster boxes. You need to get a case of ETBs or, or holiday sets. You got to get a whole case of ETBs. You need to get a case of 151 Japanese and that's where the money's at. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Start small. You don't need to be big. Big is not necessary. You can grow as you go and get bigger, but you don't need to be buying cases of something in order to be successful in the investment side of the Pokemon TCG, for sure. So just a suggestion that if you are small and you're running into this channel and you're really looking at it, just make sure that you understand you don't have to buy cases. You can buy a booster box. You can buy packs. You can buy a few ETBs. You can buy just certain things here and there, and you can still do extremely well. So right now, yeah, Evolving Skies is still again, now we're coming into the holiday season, and now it's gone up another $100. So, I mean, Evolving Skies is on the move again. So, it's continuous. We're coming into the holiday season. Like I said earlier this year, we were going to see that stagnation period from probably about March all the way up until Black Friday in November, and then we'll see the prices of that start to move again. So, now we're up to $875 now for a case of Evolving Skies. So, it's continually moving. It's continually changing, and the market is continually just doing new things, and you got to watch so many things in order to catch it. Even I wasn't watching Evolving Skies here the last month, so it looks like roughly October, about October 15th. We saw the price start to increase. So we saw that big push up until March, and then from March it kind of stayed flat. And now as we're coming into the end of the year here, into Black Friday and into the holiday season, Evolving Skies is making a move. The next big move will be when we get tax returns again, because people get tax returns and they want to burn it on something they enjoy. They're going to buy Evolving Skies because they want some of that for their collection. That's exactly where you're looking at and where you're going to see that potential. So, well, guys, just like that, we're at an hour already. Crazy how fast time goes. I'm looking. I think I got everything. Check your Walgreens. They sometimes sell old tins. They do. You also got to watch, though, because they have old tins and they put new packs in them. So you can still find like Cosmic Eclipse Garnivore ones, and they have Scarlet and Violet packs in it. Or they could potentially have Sun and Moon packs in it. I mean, I've gone both ways. Same thing with Dollar General as well. Dollar General likes to do that. So right now they got newer tins. So they did change up the tins because they got the Tyranitar tins out there now as well. So they did change the tins a little bit. So that isn't as big of a threat now that you got new style tins. But they were running those Chansey, Darkrai, and Garnivore tins forever. And those were all the way back from Sun and Moon. And they just came out with more of them here about 3 months ago or 2 months ago. So yeah, it's an old tin, but it doesn't mean that the product inside is old, and you have no idea what the product is inside, so you can't leave them sealed. So, what's my Discord? My Discord should be in the description, I believe. But yeah, it's just Northwoods TCG. It's also, if you go to the link tree, it's in the link tree as well, so you can jump onto the link tree on that. So, yeah, like I said, we're at an hour. Just a reminder, though, if you do want any product that's currently up for pre-release, the Eevee Mystery Box, the mini tin displays, or the 2-pack blisters, let me know. You don't have to put any money down, and I will just inform the rep what I'm looking at and what I want. He's not charging me. He won't, and I won't. He told me if he has it, he'll offer it, and if he doesn't, he doesn't, and you guys will just know. You won't have any money down. If you find somewhere else for it, then we can just then he'll just let it pass and move on. So that's where we're at on that right now, because the allocations are just going absolutely crazy on this set, and we'll see how everything lays out. Like I said, it's in this kind of market, if a big dog pulls up and drops 10 times their normal allocation, the little guys we're gonna take it in the shorts, and that's just how it works in the distributing world. They're gonna satisfy the big customers first and then move on down. I'm interested in anything prismatic. I'm sending you a message in IG. That works too. Send it to Instagram. I will put together a tally here, and I'm going to say probably same thing as I did the last time. Probably Friday, I'll end the tally, and that's going to be it. I'm going to hand them in the allocations and see what we can get. It's going to give us the best shots at getting the product that we want, because I was trying to remember, and I was going to look it up before I got here. Let me pull up on my emails real quick and see. So if I go into my emails, I'm going to type in, search up my rep here. What was the date on this? So it looks like order date 22nd. So I'm going to have to know by tomorrow. I hate to put that pressure on you guys. So the release date on these is going to be 2/21 on this product, and we have to inform them by tomorrow. So they didn't give us literally I had 4 days. So I had 4 days to make that up. So yeah, they are giving us no opportunity on that. So yeah, like I said, that's kind of where we're at in this right now, guys. I just wanted you guys to be a heads up on that. And if you guys want anything, let me know. Basically, right now, it's going to be the Prismatic Evolutions 2-pack blisters, the mini tin displays, and the surprise boxes are the 3 things that are up right now. I have to see what happens at the end of the month. Yep, no, that's not a problem. Like I said, the pre-orders are all going to be done by the end of the month. So I think we're going to get this one, and then probably by the end of next week, we are going to be seeing the pre-orders for the 6-pack bundles, I'm willing to bet. Within the next 10 days, we'll see the 6-pack bundles as well. So them are going to come up fairly quickly as well, and they're going to go through really fast. So them are going to go extremely fast, and once again, I'll talk to the rep, but I'm going to guess that we're probably just going to put a number out there and see what we get, because 6-pack bundles are extremely sought after, and I have back in like the Paldean Fates, I lost the 6-pack bundles because everybody wants them, and I'm so small, I'm never guaranteed that. So just wanted just like I said, I'm being transparent with you guys as much as I can. I'm just not a big dog in the distributing world. I don't have the pull to drop, $100,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $1 million on Pokemon products. So I don't have the leverage that some of the bigger companies will always have comparatively. So just so you guys know, and full transparency. So it sounds like I'm going to try and do the same thing, maybe with the 6-pack bundles. We'll get a number together. If you want to, message me now what you want for 6-pack bundles. And that way, when it comes up, I will just tell the rep the allocation that we're looking for, and we can see what we can get. And if you find them somewhere else or get allocation somewhere else, at least we've got our name in the hat with an opportunity to get them. So that's probably what we will do when it comes down to that. So other than that, guys, with it being already this late, I think I'm going to be calling it quits here this evening and getting a little bit more rest. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of the week. I am trying to sit down and I want to do a video. I got a video I really, really want to do. So I want to get it done and I want to get it edited. So tomorrow I'll probably sit down and record. And then I'm hoping by Thursday or Friday I'll be releasing videos. I want to start doing videos every Friday again as well. Just to I want to start working on YouTube a little bit more. I kind of miss being on this atmosphere and enjoying it. Yeah, the streaming's fun and I do enjoy the streaming and, jumping in and being on the streaming side of things. It's fun, it's exciting, it's great getting the polls, but I do miss talking about a lot of these investment things and going over the actual nuts and bolts of the mechanics of the investing and the that part of it for sure. So yes, thank you everybody once again, greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for everybody for joining in. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. We will be back here Tuesday next week as always, 9 p.m. Central Time. Talking about what's going on then in the Pokemon TCG. It seems to be changing week to week and sometimes day to day. But other than that, hopefully you guys have a fantastic week, and we will, of course, see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.